I'm Danny Bonaducci, and you are watching Govs Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent. Hi, I'm Danny Bonaducci.
They just go with the flow. It's the Herschy and Keegs show.
It's Tuesday night, 9 o'clock. You know what that means? It's the Herschy and the Keegs show. All right, guys, it is Tuesday night, 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in again. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday, 9 p.m., and what do you know? It's the Herschy and Keegs show. Yeah, all right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. It is Tuesday night, 9 p.m. You know what that means?
What is it?
That means it's the Herschy and Keegs show.
Yes, it is.
Well, hello there.
Oh, wow.
I'm going. All right, guys. It is Tuesday, 9 p.m. You know what that means?
What is it?
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday night, 9 p.m., and I will never not laugh at Colin Cosell calling me your personal catcher.
I love it, baby. You are my personal catcher.
Well, hello, everybody. It's Tuesday night, 9 o'clock. That means it is the Herschy and Keegs show. All right, guys. We are live. Look at this.
We're here again.
Welcome to Herschy and the Keegs show, starring pitcher Mark Hirschman and his personal catcher, Mike Keegan. Every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. live from the Governor's Comedy Club radio studio. Thanks so much for listening. Welcome to Herschy and the Keegs show, starring pitcher Mark Hirschman and his personal catcher, Mike Keegan. Every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. live from...
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Put on your socks. It's time to rock. We are here. It's the Herschy and the Keegs show. I just made that one up.
You did.
2 seconds. I forgot to. I always say something and I forgot to do something again today, and that's what I came up with.
I would say out of the 53 shows we've done, you've probably forgot about 48. The four that you had.
But like 47 of those were actually pretty good.
Pretty
this
good.
One wasn't that great.
Yeah. That usually involves your tits and your hips. That's usually
hips and nips.
Hips and nips. That's right.
But guys, thanks for tuning in. It is the Herschy and the Keegs show. Take a second. Please share this, like it, subscribe, smash that. Subscribe. Smash it. We're happy to be here. Mike Keegan, Mark Hirschman, Tony Walker. And it's a special one tonight, Mark. Tell what's going on.
This is something that we've been looking forward to it's been quite a while. We as we advertised it, a humongous crossover event. We've never done this before with another podcast.
This is like when the Golden Girls and Empty Nest joined together.
It's basically the same exact thing. It's the same thing.
Wait, which one are we?
It's the same thing.
Well, we're the Golden Girls, obviously.
I never heard of Empty Nest. I'm worried about what they're like.
I'm going to be honest. I don't want to be either.
Yeah.
Empty Nest was their neighbor, the veterinarian, Richard Mulligan, I think his name was.
Jesus Christ, dude. How old are you?
That's right.
I wish we could get a mulligan on this metaphor.
I'm a 72-year-old woman.
Yeah, clearly.
You're gonna wish you can get a metaphor on the whole, a mulligan on the whole night in about an hour. So
And real quick, you know what? Even before we start, I didn't even do this on purpose, bringing up the Golden Girls, but
Yes.
I went this weekend with my mom. Mm-hmm. They had a Golden Girls drag show right here in the Giggle Room.
Oh, Jesus.
So I got my mom. My mother loves the Golden Girls. I
Right.
got her tickets to go
well,
see
most
it.
60-year-old women do.
Exactly.
Not 39-year-old
And
boys.
I used to watch it with my grandma when I was
You know
a
what
kid.
Golden Girls was missing? Dicks.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what Mike's here for.
Well, we filled that gap. So I got my mom tickets for Mother's Day to go see this thing. She was supposed to go with my aunt. My aunt got sick. Then she was going to go with my cousin. My cousin got sick. I wasn't working Saturday night, so I'm like, all right, I'll go with you. So I went to the drag show Golden Girls trivia and sing-along here.
Yeah.
And first of all, I've done a lot of gay things.
As we
spoke about
know.
it on the show.
Yes. Yeah.
Gayest thing I've ever done. But it was awesome. They put on a good show. But the one thing, I actually sent Tony a picture, if he wants to bring it up. And you, so the Sophia, the one that plays Dorothy's mother.
Yes.
She's on stage. My mother said the funniest thing. The boys over here can't really see it. I'll show the picture later. My mother goes, "That Sophia reminds me exactly of Mark Hirschman."
What the fuck?
Oh, wow. Yo,
You didn't tell me that.
Those are fighting words, dude.
Tonight. And this is, I'm out of context
I can see
laughing.
it.
I don't have
Exactly.
glasses like that.
I can see it. Yeah.
I'm out of context laughing at like a serious part in their show, and I'm dying laughing because my mother just goes, "Mike, Sophia looks just like Mark Hirschman."
Yeah, we became Facebook friends this week, me and your mom, and that's going to come to a screeching halt pretty soon.
Wait, I think I just realized something. You're saying that Golden Girl at the drag show
Right.
looked
Yeah.
like Mark
So
Hirschman.
you guys
Not
can
the
see it.
actual.
No, not the actual.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest, man. This is a spitting image.
Yeah,
It's pretty on
my
point right there.
doppelganger is a
Yeah.
78-year-old Italian woman.
Exactly.
Right? You see it, though, right? Like the build?
Yeah.
I
know?
mean, I want to say no.
Yeah.
I want to come here.
You
can
want to
just-
say no, but it's
This is a forum for honesty, boys.
Yeah.
Who was the gay dude in The Sopranos who got whacked?
Vito.
Vito.
It looks like Vito and Hirschman combined forces to become an old white woman.
Yeah.
Those are my parents, actually.
Vito and Sophia.
This is
Strillo.
great.
So once again, you fucking backed into a plan, ultimately because your family has awful health resistance.
I know,
There's
everybody
always
gets sick.
someone ill all the time. Like, oh, I went to see Crystal Gale in concert because Aunt Tessie has gout.
I went to see the girl that played Kate on This Is Us with my mom because my aunt got sick.
You know,
again.
she-
You're a great kid. Can I
Yeah,
say that? You
sure,
are a great
right?
son. You want to know what I got from my mom for Mother's Day?
What'd you get?
A fucking gift card from CVS for Visa that they charge you an extra $10 to activate. And I told her, I'm like, that was really 60. It's not
Exactly.
it's 50. It's
Does
50.
either of you boys know the name of the actress who plays
No.
Tess? in-
Absolutely
No.
not.
If I said the name Chrissy Metz, would that ring a bell to you at all?
No.
You got the wrong guys.
Sounds
dude.
like somebody
That's
with an
not our-
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Chrissy Metz is lovely, but
beautiful voice.
Without not kidding her all, she's probably about $5 bills, probably.
At least.
And
Jesus.
Mike was front row as she was singing her little heart out, which
Yeah.
was definitely
It's a
pounding
big
out of her
heart.
chest.
It's a big- yeah,
It's
yeah.
a large.
Literally.
It's a large.
Her
but-
stressed heart out.
Yeah, but you thought she was absolutely terrific.
She was phenomenal.
You saw her
She
at
put on a
City
great
Steam.
show.
You were in the front row.
So
She
the
was
City
pouring
Wi-
sweat.
City Winery, not the comedy club
Okay,
in
gotcha.
Connecticut.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh, City Steam. Sorry, I'm sorry.
City Winery. She was great. She sang "Faithfully" by Journey. It was
Yeah,
a great
that's
show.
a big cover for her.
Yeah. but we digressed.
We digress.
Yeah, this is insane. It's impressive. I've regretted this already 3 minutes in.
That's amazing.
Forget even an
It's
hour.
amazing. We
I
set
brought
the
you
record.
guys- I brought you gifts. I'm reconsidering it.
Yeah.
This might
We
be my
have
to-go
set the
bag.
record. We've set the record of regret.
Yeah, this is not planned. That was just a little thing, and I
Man.
digressed. But with the
Well-
reason we're here Mark will tell why we're all here.
This wasn't planned, and the way we can tell it wasn't planned is that Mike never comes in with anything planned. So
I actually sent Tony a picture of
So the fact is that you guys had your little scheme behind my back, apparently, that I was going to...
You didn't know about the photo?
I
don't know.
idea. I had no idea. You guys, all right, fine.
man.
Most importantly, we have two wonderful comics, two great guys, Kunal Arora, Dennis Rooney, who we both know for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They have their own podcast. They've had for just about a year. They celebrated their 1-year anniversary. And welcome to the boys from City of Rats. Hello,
Thank you for
everybody.
having us.
Hey, how are
Appreciate
you?
it. Look at that.
Thank you for having us. Did we celebrate it?
We did not celebrate.
We
it.
are right now.
Yeah.
You
tried to give me a CVS gift card. I told you no.
I think on the year anniversary we tried to get out.
Yeah, I think we did.
And then a couple YouTube comments. You know how it is when like strangers reach out to you and they're like, "Hey, we really like what you
Yes.
do."
We need
that
this.
might as well be 10,000 people, and you're
Yeah.
like, "We have to do it."
Right.
There's 4 people in Pennsylvania banking on it.
you guys, we both watched the show. We both enjoyed immensely. And the one thing that I know specifically I enjoy is that you don't have one of those podcast names that Mike and I joke about all the time, like Living It Up or Kicking It Back. Tell us about the derivation of the name City of Rats.
Chillaxin.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
How did City of Rats come about?
So Dennis and I have done like I would say 3 tours together.
Yeah, 3
Yeah,
tours.
3 tours. They've always been immensely fun, but immensely unprofitable.
Yeah, in the grand scheme,
the
we
grand scheme,
always
yes.
make money.
Yeah, we make money,
But when you
not
tell
much.
people like I've been on the road for 4 weeks and they're
Yeah.
like, how much money did you make? And I'm like $700. But it's like, yeah, but I financed a 4-week
Yes,
run on the
that's
road.
true. That's
you
true.
know?
Our first run, I think that we would have walked away with a lot more money if we didn't drink and just drug our way through the entire 4
Every
weeks.
city we went to, it was like, where do we have to eat? Money's not an
Yeah.
issue.
Exactly.
And it was great. But so our last tour, the last night of the tour, we were staying in Pittsburgh. And we're like, you know what, let's splurge a little. We got ourselves like a house off Airbnb. It's like a nice spot.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're chilling. Everything's great. We know the show's going to be good. And I start doing laundry. We're making sure everything's looking nice.
It's a newly renovated place. You know when some place is clearly newly renovated for an Airbnb?
Yeah.
And this was a better place than you guys are accustomed to staying in on this trip.
yeah, I mean, like, not to say the place we were staying were bad. We're just like, we spruced for a little more.
Okay.
Nice, like, full-on house.
You bumped it up.
I'll give you the chronological order. The first tour, Midwest, everywhere in the Midwest, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, motels, hotels, really nice places. Random, but we slept at strangers' houses.
Yeah.
On the floor the first tour.
Yeah.
Which is something we probably shouldn't admit any longer, but it was a long time ago.
How did you even score that? I mean, I
Just
used
other comments.
You do your
Oh,
closer.
okay.
You do your closer. You crush with the closer, and you go, I have nowhere to sleep tonight. If anyone has a couch, clearly I'm not an
Is that
insane
really what
person.
happened?
Yeah, I mean, for the first
Yeah.
tour, absolutely, we were staying on floors.
Because I remember, if you guys remember that first one, I was messaging you guys, and I was like, you guys should start like a GoFundMe, and Dennis was like, no, we're good, and then you wrote back, Kunal, you can Venmo us $10 if you want. And I was like, all right, I mean, I guess. And
Yeah.
Dennis was like, no, we're
This
fine.
is how it starts.
Did he send you that? I never got my cut of
know.
that.
I'm going to be
No.
honest. Why don't you give me a damn mouth shut, huh? I don't need you to know all this history, huh?
So the first tour was called Crash and Flow because that's what it was. It was a lot of some nights were great and a lot of money, and other nights were like we just needed a night to fill in Chicago.
Yeah.
Getting on stage is always better than not getting on stage.
Absolutely.
The
Second
second
tour.
Yeah. All hotels.
hotels.
Strictly hotels.
Strictly hotels.
And then, however, I had kind of, we had a weekend in New Orleans. And I'm like, all right, man. And I'm trying to get us a place to stay because the place we were going to stay just didn't work out. And I'm calling places left and right. I'm trying to run a sort of a scam. I'm like, listen, we'll leave reviews. We'll leave reviews on all the platforms, whatever you need us to do.
Yeah.
They go, can you write a review for the place you're staying in and also another one of our hotels? And I go, yeah, no problem. We got you, baby.
I'll be the godfather you need child. I
Yeah.
don't give a shit. I need a place
You
to
guys
stay
were
tonight.
yelping your asses off.
Oh, absolutely. We'll Yelp, we'll Facebook, we'll Google review, we'll do it all. So we get there, and this was the place. We get to this, and it's under a highway, the hotel, which is already a bad sign. And this was the place where they filmed parts of Logan.
Oh, really?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, the scene where the woman gets cut in half. That's where they filmed. In fact, the motel that we stayed at was so shitty the movie people had to spruce it up a little bit to make it look decent again.
Less shitty.
They put
Yeah.
money into the actual.
Yeah. And there was an actual room that you could stay in called the Logan Room.
Yep.
And basically, the woman showed it as you could stay here if you want. And she pulled back a rug and she goes, "That's a blood stain from the movie." And I go, "I thought the woman was stabbed in the alley."
Yeah.
So I was like,
we went to our room and there was cockroaches and they're like,
Yeah.
"That's from the movie too."
Like
Left over.
Live
Finally, we have-
cockroaches left over?
Finally, we have a story for this blood stain that's been there since 1987.
We opted not even to stay in the Logan room.
yeah, we're like, we don't want to take away the luxury of the Logan Room.
Someone else might want the Logan room.
And sure enough, that was rented not long after.
Oh, wow.
But so we stayed in this hotel room, and it was like, I mean, the floors were uneven. Let's put it this way: big box TVs.
Oh shit!
Oh, wow.
When have you seen that in a
I
motel?
know.
Like in the past, like 20 years.
It's been a while.
So then we didn't even take a dump in the hotel room.
Oh, I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Why?
that's
'Cause was the
insane.
bathroom that
It was disgusting.
despicable?
I took a shit in the theater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we watched several movies just to kill time.
We did the thing because we were in Louisiana for 2 days, or we were in New Orleans for
2 days.
and Baton Rouge for
One.
one day.
Yeah.
And we were back in New Orleans after having like a pretty good night in Baton Rouge.
Yes. Yeah.
And then we find out that we don't have a place to stay. We wind up staying at this awful rundown motel that he's telling you about. And we wake up and we have all day to kill. We're in
Yeah.
New Orleans. Never been there before.
Right.
We're like, can we just go someplace with working air conditioner and just sit in the dark? And we saw 2 movies,
Right.
killed time before the show.
Yeah.
And then the next morning we were out of there. At like
We went to
7 a.m.
Tuscaloosa, which was immensely better than New Orleans.
yeah.
And we
Who the
just
hell would have thought?
yeah, right. And we're like, I'm in the shower for like 45 minutes,
Right.
and he's just like, "Are you okay in there?" And I go, "Nah, man, I just need a little bit. I need a little bit of time." I felt so bad because like people saw the photos and they were like, "Should we give you guys money? Should we?" I was like, "No." And I apologized to Dennis for years. I was like, "Dude, I'm so sorry." And he's like, "Dude, it was great." And I was like,
I'm pretty rough and tumble compared to Kunal. We're
Yes.
both pretty even level, but I'm a
Yeah.
little more rough and tumble. Even at that place, I did not get under the covers. I slept in my clothes on top of the fucking
So
bed.
that
I
was the
slept
city of
on a
rats.
yoga mat. No.
Oh.
So then the third tour.
Oh yeah, this is where the name.
Yeah,
comes from.
so the third tour, we're in Pittsburgh. We're like, everything's going well. It's been a fun tour the entire time, and I'm like just cleaning up, like washing my clothes. I go to the shower. I come out. All my stuff's covered in ants.
Oh Jesus!
So I messaged the dude. I was like, "Hey guy, I got ants on my stuff,
All over my shit.
all over my stuff." He goes,
Can I interject?
"Please."
What do you guys think when someone calls you guy? Like, hey guy,
Not happy.
not happy, right?
I'm not a big guy fan, or a big guy fan, even worse.
But it's not rude necessarily. It's just like, hey,
yeah,
buddy.
Like I'm,
Well,
I'm,
but-
I'm
but-
about to
but-
make a complaint.
No,
Yes.
but not from Kunal, because Kunal is a guy.
That's true.
That's
That is.
different.
I think you mean he's naturally rude.
No.
That's his baseline.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
Kunal, an asshole.
I know him for a long time, and
Yeah.
he does do that. But for someone
No,
who I
he
don't
just
know,
thinks you're an asshole.
Right.
oh, that could be it.
So he
That's
addresses
possible.
you.
What it
You
is.
never call me guy. We get along very well.
you're
Well,
a
here's the
guy.
thing. Neither one of you guys have put ants all over my shit. All right. Maybe don't put ants all over my stuff. You don't get called guy.
Tony, bring out the ants.
All right. Like I look over, it's ants all over. God damn it! How'd they do that?
Dude, chill. They have ants on next after us. They're waiting in the hallway.
I just look outside. They're just the
Where's
mud walls.
Rooney when this happens? So you're
So-
coming out.
He's-
jerking off in the other room.
Yeah,
Full
he's-
honesty.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's calm and
Final day of
relaxed.
tour.
Yeah, no, of course. What
The
else you gonna
shower's
do?
like super tall. He's enjoying all of it,
Love
and
it.
I'm just sitting there flipping out. I'm like, "There's ants all over my stuff."
I came out of the shower and there was like 3 ants on the kitchen sink,
Yeah.
and I was just went, "Oh, look at that!"
Yeah,
I didn't,
it.
I
Not
didn't
even
say,
phased.
Hey guys, what are you doing here?
Look at that. I'm gonna go pull my dick in the other room.
Yeah. I'm like,
so the guy comes over with a can of Raid, and he starts spraying the ants and stomping them out.
Spraying them like on your clothes.
Like it's just like he's like I'd shaken the ants off my stuff, and he's spraying this roach spray all over the stuff. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, looks at me, he goes, "You know what? I'll leave the can for you guys." And I go, "Oh, why? Thank you."
That's really nice.
Yeah.
He's spraying indoors this can with like skull and crossbones on it. The windows are closed.
Let's
and
just
he's like,
specify here. Are we talking about little sugar ants, or are we talking about the big black ants? What kind of ants were they?
I believe
Carpenter
that
ants, I believe.
they were carpenter ants.
Oh yeah, so
oh,
those are
those are the
decent
worst
size.
kind. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the big ants.
Yeah, those
little tool belts on them.
Yeah. They will. Home
I
Depot
spotted them
vests.
because they had the hat with a little light on top.
Yeah.
So they're trying to overcharge me for the Airbnb. This is going to cost you at least an extra.
I love it.
I tried flipping it on them. I'm like, you guys are not OSHA regulated. I want to see some permits right now.
I saw this guy smoking a cigarette on the job.
One of those answers like, listen, guy.
Yeah, he's talking
guy.
back to me. So then we leave, we go to the show, and I go to Rooney and I go, we're not going there. We're not staying there. He goes, all right, whatever you want to do.
And when I say that, I'm like, I'm sleep. I already jerked off there. What are we fucking talking about? I'm not going to sleep in that bed tonight. You know what I mean? I'm like, also, I'll say this. My room, no ants.
No
Kunal's bedroom, definitely ants.
A lot of
So
ants.
I was like, it's
Why didn't you
all
guys
right, we
just
have
go
to-
into the same room at that point?
We'd spent the entire tour together, dude.
Right, you
This
were
was
trying-
meant to be separate time apart. This
Right.
guy, it hasn't even been an afternoon yet. He's already jerking off alone.
Right.
What does this tell you?
I already
Yeah.
made my move 3 weeks earlier.
As
First
opposed-
night of tour, and he shot me down. I'm not going to try again last night of tour. You know what I mean?
So 3 months of jerking off together, you have finally a night that you can jerk off alone, basically.
No, we weren't sharing rooms, really.
Right, for the most part. But I
Yeah.
figured this
I
would
have
be
a
a...
tip. If you put a couch cushion
Oh,
between...
no.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
I'm not never going on tour with you.
No, that's just his childhood.
No, me and my friend, we used to do it, sit next to each other and put a couch cushion in between us. And we couldn't
We're
see.
sitting next to each other. It's still not far apart.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
We're like COVID a level apart, and I think it's still too close.
Yeah.
So I
You ever play
mess...
gay chicken?
What, no. What is gay chicken?
Really? Dennis, you know gay
Hold
chicken?
on. Let him just tell it.
No, I want to hear what gay chicken is.
I grew up white in the suburbs. Of course, I know what gay
There
chicken
you
is.
go.
I'll
There
tell you
you
what.
go.
I never volunteered though. I was always like, you guys got
Oh, wait, no, we played regularly.
regularly. What are you
Jesus
talking
Christ.
about?
What'd you guys-
Friday night gay chicken?
Yeah, you guys had jerseys with numbers on it?
Kunal, I know you're not necessarily, you're a very busy guy, road comic, that you may not listen religiously week to week to the Hershey and Keegs show.
Sure.
But certainly, it's every single week a new story about Mike's latent homosexuality develops on the show. It usually involves his 12 years to 15 or so, where him and his friends are either masturbating each other,
No,
or
not
with
even
each other,
do it
or in
to
front of
each
each
other,
other.
Jesus.
Yeah. So,
Masturbating each other?
yes. Like you wanted to do on the trip.
This is
I'm
like,
a little. I thought more like a kiss on the neck and shit. That's
Something.
that's what my friends were doing. And even me, I was like, guys, that's crazy. What are we gonna do next? Masturbate each other? Keegan pops up. What?
I want to hear more.
this
rats.
isn't even a podcast. There's no cameras rolling.
This is
right
real
now.
revelation,
Jesus
right?
Christ, yeah.
But no, you sit across from a friend and you stare in each other's eyes.
Jesus
and you
Christ.
each run your hand up each other's leg.
What?
And the first person to pull away loses. But the goal is
Well, what
to try
happens
to-
when you get to the dick? You just start
you
tugging?
do whatever it is until the guy
Whatever feels natural.
Oh, my
Whatever-
God.
Whatever the ants tell you to do.
This sounds like the game you play right before you play Ookie Cookie.
Yeah.
That was 3
Holy
weeks
shit,
ago
you
we
found
talked
your
about
match
that.
here.
I'm starting a podcast with
Oh
Dennis.
my
'cause
God.
He knows all my games.
Just call it the jerk offs.
I only know of Ookie Cookie because I grew up listening to Limp Bizkit, which was another name
fair
for
enough.
that. And one day in my fandom, I was like, where does Limp Bizkit come from?
Ah,
Comes from
there
Ookie
you go.
Cookie.
Yep.
Do you know what Ookie Cookie is, Kunal?
Yeah, I do know Ookie Cookie.
All right, great.
I got that reference. My
Bougie.
God.
Yeah.
This is a weird way to be closeted in Long
It is
Island.
really
You know
bad.
what I mean? Some people just blow each other under the bleachers. This
Yeah.
is disgusting.
No, he's got those
we
stories,
make,
too.
We make games.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Let-
at least
let-
it didn't have any long-lasting effects, like going to see Golden Girls drag show.
And then wishing it was Mark Hirschman. I mean, what the fuck?
Right. When he's looking at these drag queens and he's
Get off, you fuck.
all he sees is his co-host. You know,
That's right.
now you know it's not latent at all.
It's that scene from The Waterboy where it's just the Fonz's head on every player,
Yeah.
but it's Herschman's head on every Golden Girl.
My little dimpled face. All
Gatorade.
right, so let's close out the rat story.
So then
Sorry.
so then I get us another place.
Surprisingly.
Yeah, I get us another place. Also, I get us a $200 credit.
whoa.
Yeah, I'm really good at complaining.
Yeah,
Kunal's
that's
a good
great.
Karen.
Yeah,
Kunal's
I'm
a good-
fantastic
yeah.
at it. I can't deny it. So I get us a place, and I'm gonna be honest, the place was not as good as the place that we had. But at the same time, I know Dennis has put up with my bullshit.
Yeah.
So I give him the good room,
Okay.
which was it was a solid room.
Great room.
Yeah, it was
I felt bad.
Yeah.
I felt bad, but I was too tired. I was like, I don't know. What to do.
I was in the
I just gotta jerk off and go to sleep.
I was in the attic, dude. I'm in the attic in a bed on the floor. It was horrendous. It was like a
You would go up the stairs from the second, like our apartment was on the second floor, so already on the second floor. But in our apartment, you could go up a third set of stairs
Yeah.
into the attic, which looked looked done until you turned the corner where the bed was.
and it's just spider webs
Yeah.
and plastic, like everything in plastic bags. And I was like, all right, man, I can't make him leave again.
No, you got to sleep eventually.
Right.
Dennis, come see this. It's like, Jesus Christ, can I fucking sleep?
Now,
Right.
just to clarify, there were nights where you guys would be in a 2-bed hotel room,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And
Right.
you'd just be normal
Absolutely.
road trip comics.
Sure, 100%.
Okay,
But I
gotcha.
just didn't want to. I didn't want to move him again.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay,
We're
so I wanted
tired.
to
He's already
clarify.
right.
You didn't want to move either. It was like 1 in the morning at this point.
I'm gonna be honest. I would have been totally fine moving again. But we went to CVS and he was like so short tempered with me, and I go, "This guy's
Oh,
in
wow.
a bad mood.
Yeah.
This guy's in a bad
And this is
mood."
towards the end, right?
Yeah, this is the last night of the tour.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
It's like 1 in the morning.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's
And
just
we've
get
had-
this over with.
And we've had blow-ups on final nights of the tour before.
Yeah, and I didn't
we
wanna
won't
really-
fight. We won't fight for 4 weeks, and then we're in Pittsburgh, leaving the next morning at 7 a.m. And it's just me and him in somebody's living room, like, "Fuck you! You don't know what you're talking about. You don't mean
Oh,
shit."
that's so sad.
Yeah.
Oh my
No,
god.
no, it's fine.
Yeah.
This many years together, it's totally all right.
Okay.
So then the next morning we're at a diner, which is
Yes.
fantastic. We're
Yeah.
eating at I forgot the name of that diner. It's phenomenal.
diner.
Yeah, so we're eating, we're having breakfast, and I'm like, man, this is fantastic. And I get like a ping on my phone. Those people from the original place in Pittsburgh,
Sure.
from the original house, they were able to leave me a review,
Oh, jeez.
which I was like, this should not be allowed. Like they should
allowed.
be.
How are these people figuring this shit out? Like,
Right.
Right. I guess they'd got notification that their money was no longer coming through. So the guy writes me this long review and he goes, you start calling us Guy.
Oh, that does it.
And I go, son of a bitch.
That
And,
shit don't play in Pittsburgh, dog.
and
Oh man.
I got to read this to Dennis. And he was like, told you. And I was like, son of a bitch.
The guy, very aggressive.
And I go, fine. And then he goes, you had ants. It was a problem. We took care of it. What more could you ask for? It was a minor problem. That's what he called it.
a minor problem. I'm stomping them out on your floor.
So-
There's still ant carcasses all over. the
Right.
fucking
How would a
place.
negative review to you be beneficial to him or negative to you in any way?
Like
what would-
basically, if I were to, try to get someone's, if I were to rent an Airbnb, they will see my negative review.
Oh, so
That's
they
why.
might not
It's
be
like Uber.
prone.
You got a bad Uber review.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they
Okay,
might
I
not be prone
understand.
to wanting to let me have the apartment.
Okay,
we had
gotcha.
ants stay at our apartment last week. I don't know if we want to rent it to Kunal this
But at that point,
Yeah.
you probably didn't care that much because it was over anyway. The tour.
Yeah, but it's also like I'll come, like me and my girl, when we go on vacation, she found out about the negative review and she's like, you got to get that taken off the thing. And I called Airbnb and they're like, it's part of our honor system. We can't take off a negative review.
It's legit.
And I go, I didn't stay there. This is your doing.
Exactly,
Undo this. They're like, we can't do this. And I go, you control all this.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you mean we can't?
Guy, it's your fucking fault.
I start flipping out on them too. I'm like, guy, what are you doing?
And it's also, I just want to say, it's not like you or I left them a bad review.
No.
We were just like, listen, there's ants. We don't want to stay here. Give us our money back. No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
But these guys get
You were
personal.
you were willing to call it a draw.
Yes.
And they still came after you because of the guy thing.
Right, because the guy thing, because
Yeah.
the ants thing, and then they go, I can't believe you'd be so judgmental about some bugs. You come from the city of rats.
Wow. And that was it.
That was it.
We saw that, and we were like, we need a new name for this pod. And I was like, City of Rats.
So
Yeah.
at that point,
Yeah.
so there was a pod, but it wasn't City of Rats. It was something else.
Something else. It's called Meet Me Outside for a little bit.
It's a soft
Yeah.
opening.
Soft opening.
Soft
Yeah.
City of Rats is a fucking home run.
Thank you.
It's a home run name.
Yeah,
The
it's a-
podcast is terrific.
Thank
And when Mike and I started this podcast about a year and a half ago, one of the things that we committed to is if we weren't doing a show by ourselves, we were going to have someone on or a group of people that we were supportive of and they were supportive of us. And that's what you guys came in. So welcome.
Thank
We're
you for
happy to
having
have
Thank you for having us.
We've
I feel like
discussed
now
it.
is a good time for gifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect
Brought-
time.
I
There we
brought
go.
Better
some
time
If
gifts.
than
these
now.
are fucking chocolate bars from Buc-ee's, I'm going to
I don't know
my
how
pants.
far
That
this
would be
extends
fucking awesome.
to.
I don't think it extends
But you
that
could
far.
pass
I'll
it
pass it
along.
down.
Do either of you do drugs?
Not really. Mark likes
Well,
drugs.
let's see what you got.
Do you like a little edible once in a while?
Not right now, no.
Not in a
but-
second. No, okay, so
Every
that works
once in a
out. All
while.
right, so for Keegan, this is a beautiful prime T-bone.
Look, oh my goodness!
It's a cold.
That
That's
is an ice cold T-bone, and this is. It's wrapped like a
Wait
real.
a second.
Like,
You
It'll
might
be-
be prone to have the edible more than me, and I might be more proud. Well,
Nope,
He
He
saw the
T-bone.
T-bone.
Wow, this
He
man saw the T-bone.
Let's see.
Listen, I got you. All right?
What do you got?
Judaism, right?
Yes,
Believe
sir.
it, right?
Judaism.
What else do I have?
Your Judaism, right?
Pack of Hebrew Nationals.
Yes! We've been barbecuing like crazy in my house.
There you
Summer
go.
is here. It's barbecue time.
And Hebrew Nationals.
Dude,
there
thank
go.
you.
It's not as nice as a T-bone, but
No, I would prefer this.
and this is a punch bar. If you like edibles,
All right.
Hey,
that's like the gold
punch bar.
standard.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Have a great
Dude,
summer.
this
huh?
is terrific.
Oh, this is gonna be.
Thank
nice.
you so
You're
much.
very
We
welcome.
can split this.
That is really
and the
awesome.
T-bone's going on the grill tomorrow.
There you go.
Fantastic.
There's enough
So much.
THC in that bar. You could split it between the two.
Yeah,
and have a
absolutely.
party
That's
for
awesome.
Sure.
Dennis got me one of those punch bars. I'm like 1/17 of the way through it.
Really,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I like
so
I like
excited
a little
about
bit
Hebrew
before
Nats,
I'm going
though.
to bed. Like I don't get like super high, but like
I gotta, like,
I'll have
chip off a little piece, you're good.
exactly.
I
This-
take them so
is
much.
this infused also? The
No, that
T-bone?
one's just square prime beef. Don't worry.
The-
I eat enough punch bar where like I don't even do the squares anymore. They come in a 3x3 grid.
Yeah.
Each grid is 25. I just take a bite now.
Yeah.
Like I just took a bite before we
little of the
started,
punch
so I got like a
bar?
half hour before I'm just sludge.
So I am
thank you
curious
very
though,
much.
because you guys have toured together now 3 times. I'm curious from Kunal's perspective how those tours compared. You went on a pretty big tour with what did you guys call it? A Middle Eastern. It was
Middle
like,
Eastern.
What was it? No, it was
Jesus
you
Christ.
and
Dude, we out of here?
Yeah, I think we're good.
no.
I think we're fine now.
The Desi count.
What
yeah.
was the?
Oh, American-born Daisy Comics. Yeah,
So just tell the audience about
So I was
that.
with 3 other Indian comedians. Indian, not Middle Eastern.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
like,
This is insane.
I think
Who you me?
Yeah. My
No,
God,
once
dude.
hold on. Once he handed me the Jew food, I had to go that direction.
He handed it to you.
You're a team.
Yeah.
You guys do
think
ends
you-
together.
A bunch of Orientals. that
Yeah,
were-
right here, you know?
I just feel like Hirschman's got Osama bin crushing in his back pocket. And he's waiting
Absolutely.
to drop it. Please
Yeah.
be Middle Eastern.
Right.
Please.
So now where did
He
that
just tears a page out of his notebook. Well, this is all useless.
where did that tour come in between the 3 Rooney tours?
I think it was between tour 2 and 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I
Between
tried to get on it.
And what was the length of that tour in comparison to the one with
I think
Dennis?
this one, the one with the 3 other dudes, Akash Singh, Tushar Singh, and Alingan Mitra, was it was like 6 days.
Okay.
Whereas like with Dennis, we've done 4 weeks, 3 weeks, and then like a 2 week.
Why do I feel like it was more because you had other shows with them, didn't you? Or it was just
Yeah,
the
we would
same-
just do random shows across the
Oh,
board. Yeah,
okay.
we were like performing as like basically us 4 would be as marketed as one group.
Okay,
And then
gotcha.
we would just do individual sets, and then at the end of the show, we would both come on stage, and then we would all come on
At the
stage.
end of the show, they'd form like Voltron and do super comedy.
Yeah.
So you didn't really have.
We would
then-
tell everybody how 9/11 was justified.
Right. I remember that.
Remember how
I watched that
Some
one.
people did something.
yeah. You know how we come together, we form a plane.
So you don't really have the road dog stories with them as you do with Rooney. Then you
Yeah,
don't-
no. With Rooney, it's always been like he's been up for whatever, and it's always been like, I mean, this is like my day one dude, you know?
So that's
Yeah.
what I wonder. I know that you guys used to do the tattoo parlor on Sunrise Highway.
Yeah,
Is that how
That's
you
where
this
we
formed
met.
right
That's
where
here?
we met.
where I met them.
And-
That was my first open mic, and
Right.
so they was like the two of the first people that I met doing comedy.
Yeah. Okay. What's going on with the alarm?
No, it was the Middle Eastern reminder.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to use that line.
Oh, I was gonna check the time. Is it 9/11? It's 9:31. Never
Every
mind.
9/11, I
Oh.
celebrate when I hear
Okay.
that. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that
Tattoo parlor, Wild Child.
Wild
shout
Child.
out.
Yeah.
So, but you're a Valley Stream boy like me, obviously. But
Yes.
you were a Queens guy. And
I was
you
a
were
Queens
schlepping
guy,
out
but
to.
I would go to I would do half my time in Long Island, half my time in the city.
Okay.
And so then I remember going to Vibe Lounge where Scott Schendlinger, he hosted the mic there.
That's right.
And then that's where I met Scott, and then he told me about Wild Child, where
Okay.
Joe
Giarratano,
G,
yeah.
Joe Giarratano used to host that mic, and that's where I met Dennis, and then that's where I met Tim, and that's where I met. I also met you.
Yeah.
So
I
we
was a few years behind you guys.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
that's-
yeah.
So you guys were some of the first guys that I met there, and it was like same night. You guys, Tim was there. John Consoli was there the first night I was there.
It was a great mic because you'd get people from all over it was like the hot mic on the island at the time.
For a
on
Wednesday, yeah.
nights. Yeah, so you get people from deep Suffolk coming out. And at its highest point, there were even people, not necessarily like from the city, but you'd get like Queens comics, Brooklyn comics. You'd be like, let's go out there and see what's up.
Well, you think about it from the perspective of an open mic audience member to walk in and see Rooney, Kunal, Joey G. I mean, that was legit comedy shows. Even though you guys were new, it was still legit comedy.
Yeah, I would say, I mean,
Yeah.
considering, yes, it was like a little bit, we definitely were working a lot in terms of doing a lot of open mics. So when we went to Wild Child, I think that, I don't know about you, but I definitely felt like since there was a bit of a crowd there, I was definitely working on stuff starting Thursday on.
Yeah, that was showtime. Wednesday
Yeah,
night.
Wednesday was like showtime. Like, for example, we had a mic on Tuesday at Vibe Lounge. It was Scott's mic. Everybody got 9 minutes. We had no business having 9 minutes.
Right.
It was embarrassing for us to have 9 minutes.
So for people who are not familiar with it, if I remember correctly, the structure of the Wild Child was there was the tattoo parlor on one side, and then it would literally spill into the actual lounge where you can do stand up.
Yeah, it was a cafe.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would hear like the needles
Needling, yeah.
buzzing into people.
Yeah, I got inked there while it
someone's-
was happening. I got inked there during shows before. I
Are you
definitely did.
serious?
My tattoo guy was that in that place for probably 3 years. So I used to get.
You got a tattoo as a Jewish guy? Pass those Hebrew
Oh,
nationals
you
back.
fucker beat me to it.
Son of a bitch. What do you think you're going to get them all?
Listen, my father, may he rest in peace, went in the ground, loaded, covered in ink. So
Okay.
Yeah?
no one stopped. And it's the Jewish cemetery
I was
also.
going to say, who
wow.
upholds these laws?
I went,
It's not a
I went
thing.
to jokingly
Stop
take
touching
this
my
out
wiener.
of him, and he had a grip on those
Yeah,
fucking things.
seriously.
He's
dude.
playing gay chick where he's like creeping up to the hot dogs every few minutes.
So you guys, so that was the start of it, and then you guys became boys. You eventually lived together, or you were living in his house in Queens for a minute, weren't you?
Well, basically, I was going to move into the city.
Yeah.
And then I was leaving my mom's attic, and Dennis was like, what if I lived here? And we both laughed, and then he just kept staring at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I guess you want to live here.
I love my family very much.
Yeah.
But when I graduated high school, I went away to college for 2 years. And then when I came back, I knew I wanted to try stand-up comedy. And I was doing stand-up comedy for like 9 months when it was like, I got to be out of this house.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be around the family all the time like that. But Kunal's mom,
Yeah.
I could be around her a lot.
She's great. She's great. She's
My nose is clogged. I can't smell shit anyway. I walk into the house, I'm like, I don't know what she's cooking.
Yeah.
That wasn't a BO joke.
I know,
by the
it's
way.
not.
No,
It's not.
It was
Okay.
a
Yeah, it's
cooking-
about-
There's a cooking joke.
Yeah, I mean,
Are
like,
you
it's
still
like,
there? Are you still in that?
So I lived up there, then I moved to Bushwick for 5 years.
Okay.
I'm back with Mama.
He's
But I'm in the basement.
now he's in a separate entrance apartment downstairs.
That's what we tell
So-
Kunal,
Yeah.
just for...
Kunal's mom, who I happen to have a memory with, terrific, very supportive.
That started
mom.
off really questionable.
No,
and then he
so-
really kind of.
Well, can
I
I
happen to have a what?
We have a history together.
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say.
Kunal will remember this. Joey G was headlining at Caroline's for that new
Breakout.
Faces
Breakout artist, yeah.
thing. So I had dinner at a restaurant with Eric Haft, Keith Anthony, and Joey G right before the show. Then we go into Caroline's, and they sit, me and Eric Haft, with Kunal's mom.
Oh, that's lovely.
So we were sitting in the back of the show. You were on the show with
All right.
Keith,
Yeah, with
Joey
Keith
G,
and Scott.
and Scotty, right? And your mom was, I just remember looking over at her when you were on stage as if it was the first time that she had seen you perform, which it definitely was not.
No,
You
right.
were already in comedy for multiple years, and she was so fucking proud.
Oh,
I
that's
remember-
so sweet.
I
Oh my
remember-
God, that warms my heart.
Well, for me, like
Lordy.
I'm a mama's boy. I
Yeah.
talk about my late dad all the time.
I get
and
emotional on this
I
thing.
was probably more excited about sitting with Kunal's mom, watching
Seeing
her
her,
watch him, than I was seeing Joey, Scott, anybody. I thought it
Right.
was the greatest
Hey,
You're a
thing.
sweetie pie.
Keegs, can you touch his dick for me?
Yeah,
Hey,
Tony's
hey,
on it
hey.
right now. But so that's my memory. My one
Oh,
memory
that's
with
really
my mom. She
sweet.
was awesome, and she's still being awesome to Dennis Rooney.
I
Apparently.
mean, this guy could have world-class Indian food and decides to just walk downstairs every night. It's insane to me. Every one of my friends, I tell them, I'm like, yeah, Dennis lives in my mom's house. He goes, dude, the food must be phenomenal. And I go, he doesn't eat any of it.
Is that what your friends think, that like you live with somebody's mom? She's just like, she's cleaning my feet, she's cleaning the floor, she's cooking for me.
dude,
What are we talking about?
She's
She's
an
my
Indian
landlord.
She's an Indian woman, dude. This is what they're
No.
meant to do.
feed you, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're living with an Indian woman or an Italian woman, it's the same thing.
It's
You
the
must be
same
eating
thing.
It does offer
whether or
a
not
lot.
you're a landlord.
90% it's tomato based. It's all the same,
know.
dude.
Here's the problem.
Yeah.
If it was like, let me put a supper at your door and shuffle away quietly, I'd be like, keep it coming. But she's like, you want to come have dinner with me? And I'm like, no. It's the last thing I want to do.
I'm gonna be honest. I understand.
Yeah.
I get it.
Don't
My
talk
mom,
to anybody.
my mom could be a bit much. Yeah.
No, it's not even your mom. It's anybody.
Oh no, I still mean it.
I
She's a
take
bit
my
much.
meals in the dark. And
Why
quiet.
did you leave to go to Bushwick? Was it a comedy thing that you could be closer to the scene in Brooklyn? I mean,
No, he just wanted a longer drive to Long Island.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. I wanted to sit in more traffic.
Yeah,
probably
You moved
spend
to
more
Bushwick,
money
you were
too.
still doing spots here like every weekend.
I was doing plenty of Thursday, Sunday spots.
Yeah, why is that?
Still
Dan?
getting the
No,
odd
you were
weekend.
here all the fucking time back then. Yeah,
I had,
yeah.
because I still worked on Long
This is
Island.
so funny.
Right.
This is Kunal. You're making him so happy right
Oh,
now.
I'm so thrilled.
I'll tell you my exact rationale.
that's okay.
I remember I was back in Queens College. So I'm already doing comedy for like a few years. I'm making a little bit of money doing comedy.
Yeah.
And my parents, while they're supportive, they're also like, you're going to go back to school at some point, right? So I apply to Queens College. I get rejected 3 times. And I'm like, I guess I got to go to fucking Nassau Community College. This is crazy. I go to Nassau. I tell them the situation. They look at my grades, and they're like, you should apply one more time to Queens College. That's all they had to say. I applied one more time. I got in.
Nice.
Cut to 2
This
semesters
is like
later.
Rooney. It's
So
like-
where? Hold on. What happened? That's right.
I joined the football team. I'm this high.
It's Rooney.
You walk up to the list and you see your name on there, like getting it all paid off.
It's like Rooney with a stuffed nose. Rooney.
Rudy or CUNY.
So what happened to the 2 years away though? That was nothing. You no credits, and you go to away to school. You said originally.
Yeah, right out of high school, I went away to
And
college.
what happened to those?
That's
credits?
usually how college works.
But what happened to the
One of those
credits?
guys.
Did you see that I went right after high school?
Right.
I don't mean to brag, but I'm one of those people.
As opposed to what you
No 13th grade for me.
I was trying to figure out what you meant by what happened to that 2 year. I was a baby. I wasn't even doing stand up yet.
No, but what happened to your fucking college credits? that
Oh,
you-
my college credits?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I failed a bunch of class. No,
Oh.
that's true. I didn't even fail a bunch of classes. I just didn't have credits that seemed to transfer. It seemed I was in electrical construction and maintenance.
Oh,
So when I went to
you
go
didn't really
transfer all my
anywhere.
regular
Okay.
shit,
So
they
you
were
just
like-
wasted time for 2 years. I got you.
He brought these credits to Queens College. They're like, what do you want to do, mop?
Yeah, they're like, I guess we have some outlets you can replace if you're really looking for.
So
something
you
to do.
transferred in like 3 credits, and that was even a stretch.
Let me put it like this: when I transferred in, I was like, "How long will I have to do to get my associates?"
2 years.
And they were like, 2 years. And I was
Everybody
like,
else-
but I already did 2 years towards my associates. And they were like, 2 years.
2 years.
That was just it. The 2
Apex Tech's not going to work here.
years. So I'm in Queens College. I'm
The
living
same time, I'm just telling them, what are you doing? Like, you have no business being in college.
Yeah,
Just stop.
People have been telling me that for a long time. People
Yeah.
also tell me I have no business in comedy.
Yeah, that's different, though.
But you
They're
were
idiots.
also working a
doing
day
pretty
job
good.
back then as well.
Still
Well,
working a day
No, I'm
job.
saying,
Oh,
but then you were in college doing comedy.
Yeah, I'm
and
in college doing comedy, working a day job.
Yeah.
And I remember being in math class one day in like almost tears. Because this is going to sound racist.
Yeah. Well, what's
The guy's like,
Why?
3 plus 4. And Rudy's just like, what? What is it?
I'm just eating my own shit. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I remember trying to learn this math class, and the teacher, the professor, was a woman from China
okay?
with a very thick accent.
Yeah.
Math is hard enough to learn.
Yeah.
You had a Chinese accent.
Right.
Yeah.
I just
And
remember
somebody who's born mastering the fucking.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, exactly. And I remember sitting
So
there.
she's
and thinking-
obnoxious about it, aside from the bad language.
Yeah. Every time I'm wrong, she's like rolling her eyes at me. She's like, "Don't you get it?" I'm
Fucking
like, "I don't."
loony.
Yeah.
Loony again.
And I had the moment where I was like, "Say I stay in school, what am I going to do?"
Foul times foul. More angry? 4.
Oh, 4.
Yeah.
Full? I don't know. I don't do racist humor.
No, that's not your thing. Leave that to Keegan. He's got plenty of it.
Check out City Rats.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And I just had that thing where it's like, school's out, man. I'm not doing this. Even if I do finish with a fucking master's degree, all I want to do is stand-up comedy.
That's it.
So I said, let me move into Brooklyn or the city. Let me see what I can afford. Let me see if I can find somewhere I can still work the day job and make the commute and blah, blah, blah. And then I just spent 5 years still working the road, still working Long Island, working a little bit in the city, but
Okay.
not like hanging out has never been my strong suit.
No.
I don't want to hang out.
You hang out with your boys. That's who you like to hang out with.
Not
your people.
even.
Not even. He doesn't even do that. What are you kidding me?
Every Monday we record a podcast. What do you ask me to do afterwards?
I said, you want to grab dinner?
And what do I say?
100% no.
Eat my ass.
Yeah, he goes, I got food at home. I
got
got
food at
nothing at
home,
home.
dude.
I'm going to do anything else.
Yeah.
He gets invited to birthday parties. He goes, people we know, Sean Donnelly. He goes, I can't do it.
Yeah, but I also, listen, I
Yeah.
work a fucking day job.
Here
I'm
we go.
tired.
Here
I
we
worked
go.
10 hours today before I came in
That's
here.
true.
I'm here
Yeah.
because it was 20 minutes from my house.
Want to grab
If
some?
I had to
Want
go
to
in-
grab something to eat after the show?
Where are we going?
We got
Go home
T-bone
from that porterhouse?
No, we got T-bone and steak here. So that probably wasn't the best 5-year idea that you had, but you're back. You have your own apartment situation.
Christ, I have no regrets.
Hirsch coming in with the heavy hand, dude.
No, but you,
Hirsch, who put you up to this?
but you have
Your dad walks out.
you have your own apartment.
He's riding
set
an
up
ant.
there, right?
Come home.
He's riding carpenter ants.
Do you have like a little kitchenette down there, a little fridge? What do you have down there?
It's a hovel.
But you don't have to go upstairs to eat.
No, I don't.
No,
okay.
He
No,
cooks
it's a
down.
full basement apartment.
Yeah.
I park in the driveway. I do my laundry there. I got my
It's a
own bathroom.
perfect- you should stay there forever. I mean, it's a fucking ideal situation.
I mean, yeah, begrudgingly, yes.
I don't want to stay there together forever, but like my brothers have been talking like we should buy a house and everyone go in on a house, and I'm like, well, what's my payment gonna be? Because Kunal's mom's is pretty low. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And then I get worried too. I'm like, well, if I left, what would your mom do?
I'm gonna be honest, man. I got my mom has said on multiple occasions, Dennis is my favorite son. And to be honest,
Exactly.
like forget me for a second.
Yeah.
My brother's
Your
a
brother-
doctor.
your brother's
my brother's
brilliant.
an actual doctor.
Yeah.
And still Dennis somehow, the guy handing out frozen meat to everybody,
Yeah, that's right.
is the one on top. It's crazy. There's just no winning here.
You know why? You know why?
Yeah.
Hey, you need? I'm going to Stop and Shop. You need anything?
There you go. That's
That's
it.
all it takes.
That's all it takes.
I'm gonna start-
Charming,
Yeah.
impish, boyish, good
Yeah.
looks.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
gonna start throwing out new things. I'm gonna be like, "What are you doing Friday night? You want to go see the Golden Girls? You want to go see the Golden Girls burlesque
Keegan
show?"
and his mom there, yeah.
Yo, your mom would lose her mind at like a
Dude,
burlesque show.
Absolutely,
She'd
she
be like,
would.
"We got to move back to India."
Yeah,
This is not-
she would 100%. She's way too conservative for that.
It's not acceptable behavior.
100%. Yeah, they are sinning.
Rooney, you did something that's interesting that I wasn't going to go towards it, but you did. Do you bring up your day job on stage as well, or no? Because I know that's a no with a lot of comics.
You know-
I don't do it. I don't. Do you do it?
I don't do it at all.
Yeah, Kunal, do you ever? Did you?
I mean, I've tried to make jobs that I've had funny, but it's never really doesn't really work.
No, but what about the idea? I know that I believe something happened here a couple of years ago where they didn't want people telling jokes, including their day job, to give the audience the image that you're not an actual full-time comic.
Yeah, and I feel the same. I don't
I mean,
like.
I'm not a
Kunal?
full-time comic, but
This is a trap, dude.
Yeah, it does feel like a trap. I'm gonna be honest. I'm ready to answer, and then all of a sudden I
how
feel
do
like,
you
wait a
guys
minute.
feel about it? That's all. There's no trap.
It's. I mean, I personally, I think that. I mean, if you can talk about your job and make it funny, make it funny. It really comes down to that. I don't think that there should be a limit on it. If like you have a day job as a comedian, which most do,
Yeah.
then you should just try to make it funny if you can. If you can't, so be it.
But what about just not even broaching it at all to give that up?
I don't think that that's. I think that that's. If you want to follow, if a club sets that rule, that's on them to set it. It's
Okay.
it's like no different than saying, "Oh, we want you to be clean."
Okay.
That to me is the same feeling. But if you want to break that rule, that's also on you.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not against it either way.
Yeah, I like to have the audience think I'm a full-time comic and not that
And-
I've working 7 hours. You know, like.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I have dual feelings about it.
Okay.
One, which is provide the show element. Exactly. I'm a full-time comic. I'm what you paid for. You're not getting anything less than a full entertainer, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then here's the other thing. If I go up and I know that I'm going to have a good set and I'm having a good set and I mention, be like, I don't mean to, I've said this on stage sometimes. I don't want to shatter the illusion. But I also work a job sometimes.
Yeah.
And usually people are like, oh. They're not like, what are we even doing here? Why are we paying for
They're
this?
like, oh, he's one of us.
They're like, oh shit. They're probably, hopefully, they're like, Jesus, this guy's funny as hell. How come he has to work a fucking day
Yeah,
job?
exactly.
To which I'll say, come after the show. I'll get drunk. I'll complain. Tell you everything.
And the
I think people will take a funny comedian who admits to having a day job any day
I like
over
that.
somebody
Yeah.
who's very professional and not that great.
There you
I
go.
Right,
like that
absolutely.
answer. I
It's-
like that answer.
It's honesty,
I'm gonna
really.
start talking about my job now.
But
That's-
I like the fact that you're in a very customer-oriented type of business, your day job. You've had to see customers over the years who have seen you perform. Has to
Oh,
happen.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bittersweet thing that's happened many times over the years.
And how do you like that?
Bitter
when
for
it
him,
happens?
sweet for me.
Do you like it?
It depends on the interaction.
Okay.
It's always great when I'm helping someone at food service or whatever, and they go, "Wait a minute, did I see you at the brokerage? Are you?"
That's phenomenal.
And I always say the same thing. I go, "Yes," and then I go, "Was it a good show or a bad show?" Because they could be like, "You're the guy who lost his shit up there."
yeah,
Fucking, you know?
exactly.
But if they say it's a good show, I'll usually be like, "Can you say that a little bit louder?" So the guy down at
It's
the end
almost
hears that.
always a
I mean,
good show.
It's
Dennis
almost
is- yeah,
usually.
it's usually a
Listen,
good
you guys
show,
are
yeah.
both killers. There's
Thank
no
you.
question
I
about it.
appreciate
So-
it, but I just don't want Dennis. I want Dennis to know. Yeah, that's always a good.
Well, no, but it's
interaction.
also
Yeah.
like in my head, in my Irish anxiety, shameful, guilt-ridden mind. If someone says, "Did I see you at this place?" I immediately want to be like, "No, it was me. Couldn't have been me. I would never do that."
Like you're a
You know what I mean?
criminal?
Yeah, I assume the worst.
You were on stage. There were lights on you. Couldn't have been me.
I'll give you a good one. I was working at my old day job a few years ago. Now I'm 34 right now. I'm doing stand-up since I was a little bit before I turned 21. I considered my 21st birthday my comedy anniversary.
Right.
A few years ago, I'm at the day job. I'm helping out on a Sunday. Nothing a comic hates more than working a day job on a Sunday. I probably did gigs that weekend. I'm doing the dual life thing where like you have a great gig and then you go to your day job and you just feel like, what the fuck?
I've always
you know?
said the best time to approach a comedian for any favor or request, Sundays.
Yeah, right.
Because they've worked a
Chill show
weekend, they
on
got a little
Saturday.
money in their pockets, they're down to say yes to a lot of things.
Chill time,
Exactly,
yeah.
So this girl walks in and she goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe you guys are open. Why are you open on Sunday?" And I look at her dead-faced and I say, "If I ever own a business, I promise you, we will be closed on Sundays." And there's a line of people, and I get a good laugh out of the people because I'm selling it. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
always.
Yeah.
And she laughs for a moment, and then she resets and she looks at me and she goes, "Oh my God, are you a comedian?" And I go, "Yeah, I am. Aw, shucks. How was the show?" And she goes, "You were the comic at my prom show like 9 years ago."
Oh my God! Shut up!
And I went from like
Shut up!
gunslinger to like
That's
she
amazing.
fucking nailed me.
Dude.
And then I had to be like, "So what do you want on your sandwich?"
That's so cool, though.
How many pounds of tuna salad do
It's like
you
I
want?
knew I'd find you here.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen.
right.
There you go.
The fact that she remembered you after 9 years definitely means that you left a
That
good
is
impression with her.
Bonkers,
You're a
dude.
very sweet.
I have
Right.
How many years ago was this?
This happened. This exchange happened 2 years ago, I'd say.
So this means she saw you when you were 3 years in.
She was nearing 30.
Yeah.
And I was probably 24 when it happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was mad long ago.
You guys
Yeah.
started. I started in 2010, and you guys were already in, I think, a year or two. Is that right?
Here, I started 2009.
2000, yeah, I think 2010.
Yeah,
2010.
and
April
I know
2010.
Shendy was like a little bit closer to you. I think.
No, Schenlinger started in 1997.
1990.
I
easily.
thought
he was-
16 AD.
Yeah, it was him and Carlin, I believe. That's
right.
You could hear some of his old stuff in the Old Testament.
Absolutely.
It made it in there.
Yeah. In the beginning, there were complaints.
I know he's had those headshots on that website for forever. Those old school, like in a park or something
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With the blue
yeah.
shirt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still looks the same.
Yeah, he
He
looks
does.
exactly the
We
same.
were on a-
Two
we had-
kids later, still looks exactly the
It's
same.
Did
insane.
we work with Shendy here? Didn't we have him on our show here
Yeah,
a few months ago?
yeah, he was on.
We
yeah.
actually asked him to come on, but I guess he works. Or no, what was he afraid of? Because
He was going. I
his
think he
new
was
day
going
job.
through. He was going.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was doing
So he
training.
doesn't wanna.
He was
That's
doing
fine.
training for his new
Yeah.
job.
I get it.
We love Shendy though.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
I'm hoping
The
that
guy's
someone
got a
brings
house,
up
got kids.
things on a podcast. I said, "Get me fired from my job." That's like a
Well-
secret wish where it's like, we have to let you go. And I'm like, "Oh, right."
Well, speaking of the day job and people recognize you, I was doing IT for a school district, and one day, one of the principals came up to me. She goes, "Mike Keegan, are you a comedian?" And I go, "Yeah." And she goes, "Oh, that's interesting." And then 3 days later, I was let go from that job.
That's what fucking happened. at that?
100%.
Jesus.
100%.
Do you think that's really what it happened?
Yeah, 100% was. Yeah.
Son of a
Yeah.
gun, man.
Yeah.
But did it all work out? You bounced back, landed on
But
your
I
feet?
got a much better job, much closer to home. I'm happy now. Yeah.
Why would that be a reason for?
I mean, have you seen
Something
his
that-
act?
Something that I tweeted.
That's right.
It was something
That's
I
why it
tweeted.
was.
and,
Yeah.
it was a legitimate reason.
What was
Wait a second.
What was the
You
tweet?
talking about the Theater 3?
No. That
Oh.
was that was another thing. This is something I
You've
tweeted
made some
about LeBron
horrific
James
tweets in
one
your
time.
life.
Yeah.
What was Twitter's for?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's to test it out. What
It
was the
something-
tweet?
I don't even remember what it was. Something about black on black crime.
Well,
I
there
thought you
we
were
go.
like,
Yeah.
my fucking vice principal's such a bitch. She's always up my ass.
This whore was sucking my dick.
Vice principal in Central Islip's a bitch.
I'm gonna be honest. She probably saw that tweet, scrolled past it, and the black on black crime is like, this is
This is
a
the
little
one,
too
yeah.
far.
I don't think we've talked about it on the show, but can you remind the audience why you were banned from Theater 3, the Thunberg thing?
Yeah, that was Greta Thunberg. That was I tweeted. I tweeted, "I feel bad for Greta Thunberg because when the Democrats are finished exploiting her, they're just going to ship her off to Epstein Island."
Which is pretty funny.
It's funny.
Pretty
and
decent.
It's
But he
nothing,
got-
it's
he
nothing
got
about her. It's
Kicked
about
off a show, banned from the theater.
And
You're banned from
theater-
the entire theater?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
theater. It was in Newsday.
Jesus,
They
dude.
wrote on their Facebook page, "Mike Keegs will never perform here because of this tweet." Because I
Yeah.
guess a lot of their people
Really? They put it in
had
Newsday?
performed
there was
there.
some heat on him from
That's
that
really
Newsday
solid,
article.
dude.
Yeah.
I had performed there not too.
Oh my
long
God! You
before
can't
that.
do a show at the Long Island Comedy Fest.
I know.
Yeah.
What are you
exactly.
gonna do?
I know. I
That's
haven't
what
been-
happened.
I've not been booked for the Long Island Comedy Festival since then, and that was like 4 years.
But that
ago.
Newsday article was great, and the comments in the Newsday.com, there was
Yeah.
thousands of them, and they were glorious.
Yeah. That was
great.
Every single one of them were just
But-
phenomenal.
and it was just like, I can't believe you want her to get molested, and no, that has nothing to do with what I tweeted.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do the molesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Epstein will.
Epstein's. Oh my God. Who was it? Anthony Jeselnik has such a great joke. He goes, some people have terrible jobs. Like my uncle, he works at a summer camp for kids who are about to be molested. He's like, it sounds terrible, but he loves it. He says he's never worked a day in his life.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's
yeah.
a great joke.
Yeah, that's good.
That's so funny that you
so.
can't work Theater 3. It's like,
Yeah.
call cricket. Somebody get cricket
I
on the
know.
line.
Somebody get cricket on the
Yeah,
phone. I'm
yeah.
going to Jersey.
I bet you could work there. No one would fucking remember.
Nobody would
I-
care.
Not that they wouldn't
100%.
remember, but
Oh
like,
no, he's not booking them.
You know
though.
what? But he might remember my name because he did. Eric Haft had booked me at a theater, and this is only like a year ago. And Theater 3 called up the owner of this theater and said, "You might not want to use Mike Keegs." He's
you know
he's
what?
showing,
Fuck you, Theater 3. What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Yeah.
It's one thing to be like, you can't work here. Now you're trying to stop him from working
like
other places?
nobody knows who I am except for the owner of Theater 3.
Right, I know, right?
You know?
I'm gonna be honest. That's like such bullshit behavior to do that, especially
it
like
is.
to lose work on some. Listen, I'm not gonna work your venue. Fine.
Exactly.
Don't take money out of my mouth entirely.
100%. And even when I wrote to news, when I was quoted in Newsday, I said, "Listen, if they don't want me there, that's fine. Just don't book me." They didn't have to make it public on their Facebook page.
They smeared
and that's
him.
where all the heat
Yeah.
came on their Facebook
Slander.
page.
Yeah.
You don't have to make it public. Just message me. Don't even message me. Just don't book me. I won't know the difference.
Right, yeah.
I'm not sending my avails to Theater 3.
Right, there's tons of people who won't book you. No one talks about it in
I'm like,
Newsday.
join the fucking club. There's tons of people
Right.
who don't like me.
You
They
could
just-
fill up Theater 3.
That's right.
Exactly, yeah.
There's tons of people who hate your right-wing racist
Exactly.
outlook in life.
Yeah.
And you didn't say anything like this on stage. This was just a tweet.
No, this was a tweet.
Tweety tweet.
Somebody's got
Throwaway-
so much time on their hands.
Yeah,
in Theater
yeah.
3 to
I
be
know.
combing through your tweets.
my-
It's like
my
you and
tweet.
Shane Gillis,
Exactly.
victims of
poor
cancel
Shane
culture.
Gillis of Theater 3
Right.
in Port Jefferson.
Theater 3 is calling SNL like, I'd like to speak to Lorne Michaels.
So Shane Gillis and Mike Keegan were just about to hit the same level.
Right, right,
And that's what happened there.
Exactly.
You know? Kunal, can we touch on something that I'm always curious about and never asked you?
When you put it that way, yeah.
the,
you can't.
no, over the years,
Yeah.
the changing of your name
Ah.
on,
Ooh, this
on
is
stage.
a touchy subject.
It's not a touchy subject at all.
It is a touchy subject.
So
Look how
now,
close you start
now you're
talking.
Kunal Arora. For
Yeah.
a while, you were KC Arora.
Sure, yeah.
And then for a while, you were using your middle name, I believe.
Yeah, I mean the middle name's it's still there.
Hoppin' Flapjack Johnson.
No, you were. you were no, you were Kunal.
King of the Delta Blues. I'm sorry.
Pass me the guitar. Let me show you guys a thing or two.
Come on, Flapjack.
Was it Kunal Chand?
Chand, yeah.
But I'm just curious, what made you change when you did and why?
I really thought that it would. To be honest, I thought that I would get more bookings if it wasn't like an ethnic name.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And I thought that they'd be easier, and it just wasn't. And then I was like, man, I might as well just be more authentic and be more honest to myself about it. And so that was really it.
Yeah.
You know, people are like, yeah, and people are always going like, oh, you did it for an advantage. And I go, do you see the advantages here? What advantages are you seeing? People are like, oh, look at you. You're using your full name now because that's what's in. And I go, I've never been in. What are you talking
Your
about?
full name
I didn't
is
make
Name?
up a name. I'm not Shecky Aurora. Like,
Yeah.
it's
It's ridiculous.
My name on my
What?
birthday.
Shecky. She just died.
No,
Shecky
not her.
Beagleman.
Not her.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. Green.
What if
Green? I'm
and
talking
people are
about,
not
you jerk.
remembering that you also had a long beard.
Yes, that
Long-
me switching appearances has nothing to do with trying to fit in. I still don't get in anywhere.
I will actually defend Kunal. Where like, yeah, I think he just switches appearances because that's what people do.
It's
This idea
cool.
that comics are supposed to like maintain a look and
Yeah.
a thing, it's like that's people change. You know, I
Right.
thought you started going by Casey Aurora. First of all, the ambiguity thing where you're like, I just want it to be not so
Yeah.
whatever, but you left Aurora.
But that,
I
yeah,
mean,
I
come
guess.
on.
That's
yeah.
his last
There was
name.
just
I
the
mean,
shooting,
Right,
you know.
yeah. I added a U so it matches the one in Denver.
Wait, so is Mark David Hirschman the reason why I don't get booked?
It is. We all think
absolutely.
you killed John
I might as well
Lennon.
just be Jew. I mean, how much more Jewy can I be?
Yeah.
I thought you just got tired, Kunal, of people calling you Canal and
That,
Kunal.
I mean, that's always happened.
Yeah.
But it's like, to me, I was like, oh, this would work. And then, I was like, I would rather be more real to me. you
Well, that
know?
was
And I like,
100% what I thought, was because I'm sure MCs fuck up your name.
I mean, they do it all the time, and I don't give a shit. I've never.
Who doesn't know who you are at this point, though?
Yeah.
You've been doing comedy for 15 fucking years.
Right, I know. Well, I mean, not the right people know me, but
Yeah, but when
All
you're
right,
in,
well,
when you're in the Midwest and it's some local yokel.
I don't.
MC,
At that point,
you're
it
not
doesn't.
gonna-
The reason why
Well-
that doesn't bother me
Yeah, go ahead.
is because I know when I get on stage,
They'll know who you are.
they're gonna know who I
Yeah,
am.
you
So
go.
it's
Boom.
fine.
Killer.
I was
Yeah,
going to say, the
thank
people
you.
in the Midwest, when Kunal shows up, they're so afraid of insulting a minority. They're like, how do I say it exactly?
Yeah, I just
How
see
do I
them.
say it there phonetically?
You know how comics are. They're like, I don't want to just New York City.
I'm going to
English
pray with
and-
you right now, Kunal.
Can you
tell
just
us.
introduce yourself, please?
Yo, what? This is how how bad it's gotten. I was doing a show in Cleveland, right? And the MC comes up to this other dude named Chris is doing a guest spot, and I'm featuring, and the guy comes up to me and Chris, and he goes, "Which one's Kunal? Which one's Chris?"
That is very funny. I never heard that.
And I go,
Hilarious.
and I go, "I'll give you some time to figure it out."
That's amazing.
That's great.
And he goes, "Come on, man, I'm just trying to do my job." He doubles down, and I go, dude, if you can't figure this out, we'll host it. He goes, "All right, I think I got it." And I go, "Yeah."
But you got to appreciate the other world where he walks in and he goes, Kunal, Chris, and you guys like, actually.
Yeah, right.
Actually?
Yeah, it was
You know?
great. It was
That's
great.
amazing.
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
Another note that I took down a couple of weeks ago that I wanted to touch on.
Man, you're really coming in here hard and hot and
Hold
heavy,
on.
dude. He's got shit about you. He's got shit about me.
Because
and he's all
listen,
writing it with
you
a
guys
pen with
both
dog
know-
prints on it.
You guys both know that I'm a listener and I'm a question asker. I've been doing that to you guys forever.
Yeah.
I'll randomly message
That's
you guys
true.
questions.
You will. I really hate that
or-
you contact me through Facebook Messenger. It really sickens the shit out of me. It shows your age so
When you were looking
badly.
to go back to school years ago, I messaged you. I don't know if you remember this.
I do
This is
remember
like
this.
10
You were
years
very
ago.
nice about it. Yes, you
So,
were telling
like,
me
I'm-
because I was worried about my student loans, and you were talking to me about consolidating them.
Loan
I'll
consolidation.
have you know,
Yeah,
paid them off.
that's my man
Thank
right
you,
there.
COVID-19.
So I just remember a lot of shit, and that's
Yeah.
why I love doing this show so much. But there used to be a thing. I haven't seen you do it on Facebook recently, but a few years ago you do it
Me?
all the time. No, Kunal.
Oh, thank Jesus.
Where you would get angry almost if
Wait, I
people.
thought this was Dennis.
Right.
I'm about to reach for your fucking Hebrew national right here.
If people would post something about a relative that was deceased,
Jesus
that
Christ.
was like longer. If they were older than 80 or something, you would be like offended or annoyed by the fact that they were still posting. Like there was a limitation that you felt that.
I haven't written about this in a long
Right.
while, but I'm gonna say I'm doubling
hard.
down. I'm gonna triple down again.
Go hard, bro. Go hard.
There reaches a limit.
Yes, I
when
wanna
you gotta
know.
stop grieving online.
Yes.
Okay, you have to let it go.
Yeah.
All right, like your relative's dead. Who, if it's a grandparent, I swear to God, you're still mourning. A buddy of mine said this best.
Yes.
You know what grandparents are there for? Free childcare and to teach your kids about death. That's it.
Who said that?
I'm my friend Hillary.
It's
out
and it's
Hillary.
true. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
it, man. That's what they're there for. And if you're gonna sit here and be like, "Man, I miss my grandpa every day," dude, you're 30.
Yeah.
What do you expect from these people? They should be dead.
Happy 103rd birthday in heaven, Nana.
Yeah, right. The numbers get worse and worse.
So what's if you had to set up some guidelines, some structure, you know?
All right, man. You
Haiku?
Yeah, I'm gonna say anything after 10 years, you got to stop.
Yeah.
A grandparent or a parent?
Everybody.
Everybody. But it's got to
dude.
be worse for a grandparent or great-grandpa Jimmy passed
Grandparent,
away.
5 years. But
5.
if it's a parent after 10, you gotta let it
So
go.
I still have time then, is what he's saying.
Yeah, all right, you gotta let it go.
Yeah.
I also think Kunal is saying, like, hey, do your anniversary of grieving, go to the gravesite, buy the flowers, do the
Yeah.
thing, sit and talk, pour
Yeah.
the beer out, leave it off Facebook.
Right. This
Yeah.
is
Leave it
strictly
off
for
fucking
this is
Instagram.
all that attention that you're wanting
It's
right
all
there.
for clicks
Yeah.
and likes.
And it's just like, man, I'm not saying shouldn't you be improving yourself to get over the death? Shouldn't you be doing that instead?
Yeah.
So
Shove your titties together, take a picture, let's go.
Right.
That's what Instagram is
this
for.
is what I'm here to see. Work
Yeah.
out, post ass pics for fuck's sake.
Let me see some tears dripping down cleavage. Then
Right,
I'll
that's-
mourn with you.
That's
You know
what I
mean?
want.
Yeah.
I'll be your only fan.
I wanna see
used to- I I used to laugh my ass off because I'm like, people are thinking what he's saying, and nobody will say it.
Were these
Nobody.
posts, or were you going on other people's in memoriam?
He might have been doing that
This
too.
is ridiculous.
No, I think he might have.
I went into a couple of in memoriams.
Dude.
I know.
That's rough.
You know, listen, that wasn't me. That was Casey Arora.
Right.
What do you want from
He was
me?
tearing the obits up at NewYorkPost.com.
crazy.
Yeah, he was a reckless individual. Kunal would never.
So cool.
That's
Dude, we fucking rifled through an hour here. We
Yeah,
rifled
went by
through an hour.
super quick.
We cannot thank you guys enough. We had so much fun.
Thank you for having us.
Please, I want to know what you guys are up to coming up. Tell us about the show. Tell us about some shows coming up that you have. Go ahead.
All right, so the podcast is called City of Rats. It's two New Yorkers giving you that real. It feels the best way that I described it. It's like sitting with two New Yorkers on a front stoop. You know, we're just chatting, shooting the
Dude,
shit.
the thing where it's like, you hear about this shit?
Yeah.
And when I heard you describe it like that, that's when I started listening. I'm like, yeah, that sounds awesome.
there we
It's a
go.
cool-
Okay.
Two New Yorkers.
And
And
you guys,
also,
and like, just I've known you guys for 12 years. I've been doing comedy. Just always having such a good dynamic, the two of you guys. So it makes
Thank
for a
you.
great show.
Love it.
Thank you. Wow, man, Hersh coming in with the fucking slander. All right, so
really?
yeah, that's no surprise. So then it's a great podcast. We think it's it's a fun time.
It's easy as shit to watch. I can tell you that.
Thank
It's just easy as shit.
thank you.
Thank
we,
you.
we go for funny. That is one thing we always say. It's like, I always complain about comedy nowadays where, like, comedians love to come off as clever. They love to come off as smart. They love to come off as correct. Virtue signaling, all that shit. We're going to say wrong things sometimes, but we promise there will be at least one out loud part per episode. I watch Ted Lasso, and I say if I get one laugh out loud moment every episode of Ted Lasso, that's a pretty good thing.
Yes.
I think our podcast is as funny, if not funnier.
Ted
Yeah,
Lasso.
I love
podcast.
that.
Yeah, I would say
love that
so. Yeah,
answer.
I mean, and then there's some episodes that even they were like, beginning to end. We're just
Yeah,
killing it. So.
if other people aren't laughing, I'm dying a lot of our episodes, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know what
That's
else
how
to
we
say,
feel
you know?
about
That's
it.
how
We
we
walk
feel,
away, we're
yeah.
like, we just had the best fucking night of our lives here for this past hour,
So yeah, I mean, you could check out City of Rats. It's on YouTube. We also have a Patreon. There's a $5 tier that you could join. It's it's a great tier. You get an extra. You get the remainder of the episode. Okay. So that's what you get every week, which is like an hour extra of content.
About the first 20 to 30 minutes is for free on YouTube. We just started doing this, and then if you want to see the rest of the next hour, it's behind a $5 Patreon wall. It's $5 for the whole month.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right this
I already told you I'm working a fucking day job for
Right.
15 years. You know what I mean? Help me out of this.
So this essentially, you're getting not just like, if we're giving you the first 20, 30 minutes for free, you're getting an extra hour for free. So it's for paying for the $5 tier. So it's essentially, you're getting 3 episodes a week if you're on the $5 tier.
$1.25 a week, essentially.
It's $1.25 a week,
Yeah.
So we're doing that, and then
I always say, what do you want to do? You want to give fucking Joe Rogan more money? Let's go. Sign up for the Patreon. I'm broke.
I'm your father, Joe. We talk about Joe Rogan's father all the time. You ever see those? We love the Joe Rogan
His
father
father's reaching out
videos.
to him. I'm your father. And,
Joe Rogan's father and his sister are constantly screaming on video that Joe needs to get back in touch with them. And you never saw these?
Is this a real thing?
It's phenomenal.
I didn't know. It was a
gotta
real
check
thing.
this
So
out.
Joe Rogan was separated from his dad when he was 7 years old. His mom took him and they left the father. And then Joe has, not recently, but years ago, would say how his father was a nut and abusive and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, at 80 years old, his father starts sending videos out on YouTube, him and his sister, like real heavy, hard school Italians from where they live in Jersey.
Yeah, they're in Jersey.
And you can tell, like, they look like Joe Rogan. And his father is an 80-year-old man, comes dressed full in Pittsburgh Steelers regalia. So dressed head to toe. And he's like, Joe, I'm your father. And I'm not afraid of you, Joe. I'm not afraid of you. I'm your father. You need to talk to your father.
I can't believe he hasn't reached back out.
Please do me a favor.
would've
Watch
thought?
the videos when you get home.
Jesus
I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Howell.
sure, yeah.
That's
You'll howl.
insane.
Yeah, it's great.
So I mean, and then you can check it out on our YouTube, the City of Rats YouTube. And then in terms of like personally, anything that I'm doing, all the social medias are all the same. It's all day KCA. And then
okay.
the clips and all sorts of stuff there.
And this weekend, what do we have coming up?
Oh, this weekend I'm going to be at, I'll be headlining McGuire's this weekend.
Oh,
Damn!
There
I
we
didn't
go.
even realize that.
Right here.
That's
Yeah.
phenomenal. What
Yeah.
good timing.
Yeah. So this, June 2nd and 3rd, I'll be at McGuire's.
Shit.
You can check that out. I think it's 7 p.m. show on Saturday, 8 p.m. show on Friday. Yeah.
So
And-
for all of our Suffolk County people, which there's plenty of them, Kunal's a killer. Who's on the show with you by any chance?
No.
Okay,
I
it doesn't
don't.
even matter because he'll be doing a solid probably 40 minutes, I would say.
I'm going to
each
try to
night.
do as much as possible.
He's going to
So-
do a lot of time. Kunal's a killer, so I highly recommend that you go onto govs.com, govs.com, and pick up some tickets to see Kunal.
Thank you.
And Mr. Rooney.
Runes?
Can't stress enough the podcast City of Rats. We put a lot
City
of
of
effort
Rats.
into it. I really do have a lot of faith in it. Now we just need people to fucking come through and listen and enjoy.
So-
if you
If
got
you
no
like
money,
our show, you'll love their show.
there you go. If you got no money, subscribe to the YouTube. It costs you nothing and it helps out our numbers. If you do have $5 a month, subscribe to the Patreon and listen to every episode. It's a fucking good time. Follow me on Instagram at DennisRooney7. I deleted all my other social media because I'm not a smart comedian.
I
as
thought you
we've
blocked me,
established.
so that's good.
No, nobody's blocked. I'm on Instagram, DennisRooney7. It's the only place you'll find me.
Excellent.
Do me one favor.
I'm in Vermont headlining this weekend.
I don't want to hear any of that. We're not continuing with the show. Shit, you guys did that about a month ago. And there's no reason for it because you guys have a good product.
Thank
you guys,
you.
I was told when we started this that we got to put at least 2 or 3 years into this before we can expect
That's
to get
what,
real results.
Sebastian
So
and Pete said that.
Yeah.
Sebastian told Pete, he goes, no matter what, we got to invest 2 years into this before it's going to catch on.
if you
or
believe in
anything.
what you're doing, and
Do
you
they
guys
still
are
do
being-
that podcast?
They do
Yeah.
actually.
Okay.
Sebastian
Great.
still does it.
The cast. Yeah.
If you guys believe in what you're doing and you continue to be real and honest the way you guys are, and you're having fun, there's no reason to stop.
Oh.
I
There
never
you
liked
go.
you. I've always hated you,
That's
Kunal.
it. That's it for me.
Keep on
Keegs.
keeping
What do you got
on.
going on this weekend? And then we'll close the
This
show
week,
out.
I'm with the Cricket.
Nice.
Somewhere in Jersey. Just look at I have all my dates on Facebook. July 16th here in the Giggle Room. Mike Keegan and friends. Come to that. Govs.com for tickets. And Thursday night I'll be I'm doing the Johnny Potenza show in Staten Island.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, the Johnny P show. He's a good,
Yeah, I
good
like Johnny
guy.
P, yeah.
It's fun. I'm gonna do some stand up. He interviews a couple actors and stuff. He's got
Awesome.
a band playing. So the Johnny P show. We're looking for some live audience members. So if you're gonna be in Staten Island Thursday, come out. And,
Come out.
It's gonna be a good time.
So thank you to our producer, Tony Walker, to my co-host, Mike Keegan, to the boys from City of Rats, Dennis Rooney and Kunal Arora.
Listen to
You guys
City
were
of
great.
Rats.
Thank you.
Sons
Thank you
of
for having
bitches.
us on.
To our listeners, thank you very much. Make sure you share the show with at least one person. We ask you that every week. Thanks for watching, guys. We love you. Bye.
Bye bye.